Hello and welcome to another episode where I've managed to find another interesting Chinese product, another microphone for us to try. But let's wind the clock back a tiny bit. This one says it's a Sennheiser e614, you know, the little electric condenser. Well, that's what it says, and clearly it's not. This particular one, I've actually had two of these from separate suppliers and they're pretty unusable. Have a listen to this. And this is a test of the fake one with the very high noise floor. Yeah, that's the noise floor on the fake 614. It was so bad that I thought there was something wrong with it. So I ordered another one from a different supplier and it was exactly the same. So bad that I don't think you could get a decent recording with at all. But then I saw this. It's a familiar box, but look, no Sennheiser, just the blue band. Nowhere on the box does it say anything about Sennheiser. It does say Evolution 600-900 series, but the little picture on the front shows what looks like a 614, but with Lokchonk as a brand name. It doesn't say Sennheiser anywhere on this microphone. So like that thing we tried a few weeks back, maybe there's a possibility for this if it doesn't make a nasty hissing noise like the others do. So what I've done for the test today is I've pulled out a real 614. I've got the Lokchunk 614, and I was going to use the other one, the one that makes that horrible low frequency sort of rumbly noise, but I'm not going to bother. I don't think there's no real point. There are differences between this 614 Lokchunk and the Sennheiser. Sennheiser's got a conventional mesh grill. The grill on the Lokchunk is actually finely punched perforated steel, which is a bit unusual. I've never sort of seen that before. Other than that, it's the same. The actual mic clip is different. It's visually very similar, not quite the same. Doesn't have the Sennheiser brand on it. And annoyingly, it's made of that very, very stiff plastic. I managed to get it into the clamp, but it's a really tight fit. I think what I might do is just run a hot air gun over it, and that will probably let the plastic just breathe a little and open it up, because it is too tight. I mean, it just doesn't fit unless you are pretty forceful. What we've got now is the Lokchunk, the real 614, the fake 614, which we're just going to ignore because it is so awful. And you're listening to me now on the usual SM7B, the comparison microphone. So let's just switch the other camera so you can get a bit better idea of what you're seeing. So we're on the SM7B. So let's switch across now to the Lokchunk. So now you're hearing me on the Lokchunk, and distance-wise, we're looking about that far from my mouth, the usual distance that I always use on these things. So that's the difference between the SM7B and the Lokchunk. Let's switch across to the 614. So we're on the 614 now. So this is what a real one sounds like. And there's not a huge amount of difference, is there? I think there is a difference. We'll switch across between the two non-stop now so you can have a chance to sort of try and tell the difference. But visually, we've got a difference. As I'm looking at the microphones from sort of, my perspective, I can see that the grill is different. I can see that the Sennheiser mic clamp is a slightly different colour. The Lokchunk is black. The Sennheiser is a very, very, very dark grey, and it is softer, as I said. But other than that, the two things are pretty close. Now, this particular Lokchunk came to me at 20 quid. Well, about 18 quid. And I got two of them. So that's a stereo pair for under 40 quid. And if you have got sort of very strong views on Chinese copies, and certainly the fakes, then I think the Lokchunk, while it looks like one, doesn't say anywhere on the box that the word Sennheiser. I'm not really sure that the Chinese name translates that well, does it? Lokchonk. It doesn't sort of doesn't sound very good. I'm sure they could have found something a bit better. But in realistic terms, if you haven't got a huge amount of money, I think you could get away with this because it's a cheapish condenser and it sounds pretty good. So all in all, could you get away with this one? Well, I mean, Sennheiser 614s are not hugely expensive microphones, but they're certainly not cheap. But this Lokchunk might well be able to get you out of trouble. I'm going to put this one on my pile of microphones that I could use if I want. And I think the noisy 614, I really should just get rid of those because there's nothing at all I can do with them because they sound really, really dreadful. Anyway, that's enough for a video. Nice short one for you. So, Lokchunk, is it worth a go? Yeah, I think it probably is. See you on the next video. Look after yourselves. Take care.